Hello, Oracles. Well, guess what color shirt I get to wear today? Finally, wearing the green shirt again, an outperformance of Tesla on the day. We did get a shocking buyer that came in, and we will discuss who that is in a moment. But seeing green today in Tesla was amazing. Obviously, we saw the charts earlier this week. Tesla massively underperforming the market. Market's green. Tesla's like the only stock that is red. Obviously, we found out why. We discussed it on this morning's video. Elon had sold $3.6 billion worth of shares. So looks like that is done. I don't know for sure. Obviously, nobody's going to know for sure. But there's some numbers we're going to dive into and explain why we think that he's going to be done for right now. Whether there's more in the future, not sure. But for right now, it seems like it is over. And we've seen this before. Previously, when Elon was selling or when Tesla was underperforming the market, all of a sudden there was a reversal. It's like the market started going red and Tesla was going green. So it's not following the entire market and how it's swinging at the moment. And so, hey, we will take that win as it is. Now, I am getting some rumors coming out that we have a lot of options that are expiring tomorrow. I am not as familiar with the options market, so I don't want to profess that I do. I don't want to profess, that I can give you guys full information. I'm just going on some information that was given to me by people who do know about the options market, saying that there are a lot of options that are expiring tomorrow, and $150 could be a false floor that we saw earlier in the day when we hit that 152 to 153 mark. I don't know for sure. I'm just going by the words of someone else. But when I get information from sources that do have knowledge on these things, I want to pass them along to you guys just as something that you could put in the back of your head, and we can check together as we go forward to see, is this good information that we can use again in the future? And so to quickly look at the charts, here we are, our nice green candlestick. We had another 121 million shares trading hands today, so not nearly as much as yesterday, but still relatively high volume. So we had some buyers coming in, and again, we're going to talk about a couple of those in a minute, but we are still looking at this dead cat bounce that, again, we discussed was going to be a possibility, and sure enough, we're on that dead cat bounce. The RSI right now is at 3168. So we are getting close to that oversold range again, despite being green on the day today. So again, we weren't super green. We were a little more green earlier in the day. We ended up finishing up about 0.5%. So not all that much, but the market being down as much as it was, that is a significant outperformance. However, with the massive underperformance that we saw this week, we're really just making up lost ground. And so the first buyer that we saw coming in was ARK. ARK coming in with $12 million worth of shares to buy. And as Alexandra, our favorite Tesla mama, comes in and says, the daily update, the ARK purchases of $12 million are a good start, but more needs to come. They currently still have powder and $260 million to get back to 10%. Now, don't forget, with the ARK funds, they have themselves capped at 10%. So this is why we have seen, despite the fact that Cathie and ARK are very bullish on Tesla, when they were getting to that point where Tesla was more than 10%, they were trimming their position. A big reason for this is because all of their other positions were such big losers at the time. Tesla became such a massive piece of their portfolio, they had no choice but to trim it. Now they are on the other end of the spectrum here, and they can be adding more to Tesla. So as Alexandra said, there is a lot of money that they have that they can still put back into Tesla to get them up to 10%. So again, we've talked about this a lot for the last 6 months or so. There's a lot of big money that is sitting on the sidelines right now with cash, just waiting to put it all in here when it comes to what's going on with the economy, what's going on with Twitter, what's going on with Elon, a lot of different questions that are out there. And when there's more questions than answers, people tend to just kind of hold onto their cash until they have more answers. When there's more clarity, they're more comfortable putting their money out there. Obviously, with some money coming in, they're starting to get a little more sense of clarity and they're feeling a little bit more comfortable to put some money in, but obviously it's not fully comfortable to dump all of their money in. But again, as Alexandra said, this is a good start. And now for the shocking buyer. The shocking buyer is Chicken Genius coming back in. He says, I know, this is going to shock you, bought $300,000 worth of Tesla. And here you can see all of his trade orders. So he is showing that he is doing what he says he is doing. And again, I know that he came out and said some very controversial things, calling $140 as the point that he was going to be looking to buy back into the stock. Everybody gave him a lot of crap for it. I didn't think we were going to come down this way. I didn't rule it out, but I didn't think we were coming down this far. And now here we are, and he has bought some in. So I'm sure he has more money that he could put in. I'm sure this is not an all in type position for him, but getting down to these levels where he now feels comfortable to buy is a very bullish and good sign. Now, to go back, a reminder that despite the fact that he was calling near-term bearish movements in the stock price, he did say that he thinks the company is going to be doing well long term. There was just a lot of uncertainty in the near term that was causing him to believe we were going to come down this far. So that's what he said. That's what he did. But here is our shocking buyer coming back in. And this is a great sign for the stock and the company. So maybe this can kind of get some more positive sentiment coming back into the stock and the community. And I know I heard from a lot of you in the comments and over on Twitter, a lot of people starting to buy in at these prices. I know I was one as well. I got myself to my 46th share, and I'm getting very close and most likely going to be getting myself to that 50 share level by the end of the year, which was my goal. So the goals that I have set for myself looks like I will be hitting it. Speaking of goals set for the self, I want to thank all of you because today we hit 8,000 subscribers here on this channel. Thank you guys all so much for subscribing, giving me feedback, different things and encouragement, all the different conversations that we have. You guys have been amazing support and you truly are the heart and soul of this community, and I thank you all. So one other thing that I wanted to mention about this morning with Elon selling. So we discussed this morning about, Elon wants to make sure that Twitter has enough cash to be able to get through some difficult times for next year. He said that he sold the shares back in October to make that happen. And this morning we discussed how he sold more, probably to help along. Well, I got some more information as well, and it kind of made sense about Elon selling these shares the last few days to get rid of the margin loans that he had. He did make some comments recently over on Twitter about how you really don't want to be in margin loans during these times. You really want to make sure you're out of them. There's way too much uncertainty to be on margin loans. But that may be another reason why we had seen him sell the last few days. Now, again, we still don't know if he is done. The time that we know that he is done selling is when we hear about the buyback coming from Tesla. Tesla knows when Elon is going to be done selling shares. Tesla's not going to do a buyback until they know Elon is done selling shares. So when we hear that Tesla is doing a buyback, can almost guarantee we can say that Elon is done selling his shares. Maybe at that point we will actually get confirmation from Elon. Don't know. And at this point, I don't even care. I am looking at the company itself, where it's going, and we're going to get into some news that we had gotten today about some of the awesome fundamentals of the company. And so the first thing that we're going to talk about is Giga Texas hits 3,000 Model Y builds for the week. So we know that Berlin had made this a few weeks ago. Elon had mentioned it. I can't remember when. I don't know if it might have actually been the semi event that he had mentioned that they hit 3,000 vehicles per week over in Berlin. They have now hit that in Texas. So Austin is catching up relatively quickly to Berlin. However, Berlin did just have something happen for them as well that is going to be able to take them further than Austin. In a Tesmanian report that we got out yesterday, Tesla Giga Berlin starts operating in 3 shifts this week with initial capacity of 4,500 Model Ys per week. The story reads, Gigafactory Berlin will start working in 3 shifts from December 16th, according to Ma's report. This means that Tesla in Germany will be able to produce cars around the clock. According to the information, the factory expects to produce 300 vehicles per shift. This means that 900 vehicles per day will be produced, 64% more than the 550 vehicles per day that Giga Berlin was producing at the end of November. The last official information about the production capacity of the factory was received on October 1st. It was then announced that Giga Berlin was producing 2,000 cars a week. Since then, on November 28th, unofficial information has shown that the factory was already producing 550 vehicles a day, or more than 3,000 Model Ys a week. It is worth bearing in mind that Giga Berlin has a 5-day work week. However, 1 to 2 times a month, the factory works 6 days a week. So it is difficult to calculate the exact number of cars produced. And so, of course, with a capacity of 4,500 vehicles per week, that doesn't mean that they're going to be producing that immediately, but putting that third shift on means that they're going to ramp up relatively quickly to get to that point. So, seeing as we're in the middle of the month right now, I'm anticipating saying that we are at 3,000 vehicles per week at the end of November. They've gotten that down pretty solid for the first 2 weeks of December. Put that third shift on, get people trained and up and running. We may be up to that, maybe like 3,500, maybe 4,000, depending on how quickly they ramp up vehicles per week by the end of the year. So you guys can let me know in the comments below how quickly you guys think that they are going to be ramping up. I know Karav and I have been discussing this as well. So these are numbers that he has made adjustments on. I'm going to be updating my production forecast this weekend for you guys. And for anybody who is a member or patron, you'll be able to see those numbers this weekend when I post them. We have breaking from Tesla owners Silicon Valley. Tesla has acquired land in Mexico and has reached a deal to build a factory in Nuevo Leon in early 2023, according to local media source Milenio. And as Gary Black tweeted as well, this would be a big positive if Tesla builds a new gigafactory in Mexico to produce the $30,000 compact car for North America. And as Sean here says, this would assume that the $30,000 model is 3+ years out. And yes, you figure if they're going to start building the factory in early 2023, give it about a year or two to build, and then they can start ramping from there. That means that 2025 is when we would end up seeing that compact car coming out at the earliest, if that is where they're going to start it here in North America. However, I have a feeling we are going to be seeing it coming out of Shanghai well before then. So I think we're going to hear about it in Shanghai in 2024, and then we'll end up getting maybe some exported to the US, and then we will have Mexico coming up and producing these for us. Again, no official word from Tesla on this right now, but I have a feeling we're going to hear about this probably by the end of the year, or maybe when we get production and delivery numbers on January 2nd. And the other great fundamental news we got today is the next step for Tesla. We have been talking about how Tesla Energy is going to be the next big S-curve that is coming out. And here it is, Tesla announcing, introducing Tesla Electric, the electricity plan that offers low-cost clean energy for homes with Powerwall starting in Texas. And going right to the Tesla website, here it is, comes right up. This is their homepage now, and you can see Tesla Electric right there. So again, this is extremely exciting, and we are just at the beginning for all of this when it comes to Tesla Electric. I have a strong feeling, seeing as this is starting in Texas, Texas is going to probably be the birthplace of where Tesla Energy really starts to take off. We've been already hearing about last year. We had some big secret mega pact projects that were going on. So this is big, and I will keep you guys posted on any more Tesla Electric that is going forward so we can really monitor this. I do have my spreadsheets that I'm finishing up right now when it comes to the mega packs and the power walls and all of the revenues they have been making off of this, trying to track all of the margins on these. It's really not easy to track all of the margins, but some of you guys have given me some great tips on how to do that. So I'm starting to put all those numbers together to show you guys where we're going, because I want to have all of the older information together so that this way when we go forward, we can really track to see how the growth is comparing to where we were before and how we can see the trends going forward. So again, overall, it was a nice day today. We had our nice outperformance. We've got some great fundamental information about the company. Looks like this epic Q4 could end up being just as epic as we thought. And going back to Elon's selling, so Gary Black had come out saying that the Tesla board could not approve Elon Musk $3.6 billion discretionary sales from December 12th through the 14th if Elon was in possession of material non-public information, MNPI. These sales were not 10b5-1 sales. For those of you guys who don't know, those are pre-planned sales that can happen at any time. So these were discretionary sales that he just did on his own. Odds of a negative Q4 surprise are therefore likely low. The fourth quarter trading window closes tomorrow. So as we had discussed before, I thought it was the end of the week. I didn't know if it was the 14th or the 16th, but it is tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last day. So after tomorrow, if there are any sales that come through, it would have to be through one of those 10b5-1 forms, which seems like that is not something that Elon has been doing. So I would say that if there are no more sales that go through tomorrow, we won't see any more sales from Elon until we get past earnings. And so now the importance behind Gary's tweet here saying that if Elon knew that Tesla was going to have a big Q4 miss, then the board would not have been able to allow Elon to sell these shares. And now going back to that discussion that we had before about Elon coming onto a Twitter space and saying, sorry, I had, an urgent board meeting call to go on. This may have been it. He may have said, hey, you know what? I need to clear myself of this margin debt. I need to make some sales. So they had to approve it, had these discussions. And in doing so, this means that they know that they are not going to have a big miss. Because if they were going to have a big miss and Elon sold now and all of a sudden then come out with Q4 numbers with a big miss, that's a big no no according to the SEC, because that means that he knew this inside information that they were going to miss and he wanted to sell before that happened. So this tells me that Tesla is going to at least meet their numbers. Whether they're going to exceed them significantly or not, I do not know. But we do know that they are not going to be having a large miss with their numbers for Q4. Whether they're going to have this epic Q4 that Elon was talking about have yet to be seen. Judging by some of the numbers we're seeing for production numbers could be significant. My current numbers right now for production are 463,000. I'm going to redo my numbers this weekend, as I said. That might get bumped up a little bit. There's only 2 weeks left in the quarter, so I don't think it's going to be bumped up by that much. But again, I'll do my reassessment and we'll see what I come in at. And don't forget that even the expectations for Tesla this quarter are record numbers, big record numbers. Expectations right now are 430,000 deliveries. And last quarter, we had 344,000. So jumping up by 90,000 deliveries almost, that's a significant jump quarter over quarter. So again, this is looking like an epic Q4. So it just depends on how epic you think epic really is. So again, going back to the actual fundamentals of Tesla itself, very good things coming out. Berlin and Austin ramps are growing significantly. We've got great numbers with an epic Q4 with record deliveries most likely coming out. Very good things. This is why I am buying, and this is probably why we saw Chicken Genius buying. This is why we have been seeing ARK buying. A lot of people are coming out and buying at these levels. I still am holding my half cash. If we do end up dipping further, again, if that 150 floor is a false floor, then I'm just going to protect myself, but I'm still adding extra. So I'm adding every single day. I'm adding extra. I added more extra today, but with the extra cash that I have, I'm just waiting a little bit longer just to see. And if we end up bouncing off of that and coming back up, I'll deploy it at maybe the 150 to 160 level instead of 140. So I'm just holding and waiting and being patient. So again, I just wanted to thank you all, 8,000 subscribers. The channel is growing immensely. We've had a massive push this week. I'm extremely excited about the growth of the channel and so many other things that I have working for you guys to be able to provide you even better content. But I've got the website that's being built and everything. So once everything is up and running, I will let you guys know, but very excited about this, and I cannot thank you all enough for all of your support. And at the rate we're going, maybe we're going to end up hitting that 10,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year that I was hoping for. Still a good ways to go to get there, but either way, very excited with the growth that we have been seeing. Thank you all. And if you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a membership program and that Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you all so much. Have a great one.